Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Thurrock Oakfield, where this afternoon Thurrock take on Letchworth Garden City. There's been quite a solemn ceremony before the game. We're under the oak tree to the north of the ground. They've placed the ashes of Adrian Harden, a former player and friend of Thurrock, known as Big Ada, and he, of course, transferred later on to Letchworth, where he became a friend of Brian Burke. Brian and Ada used to go to pop festivals together. They became great friends, and today Brian and some of the family have come down to see the ashes of Big Ada placed under the oak tree, with several other items of ash from former players. So we wish them all well, the family. So today, Thurrock take on Letchworth Garden City. Garden City is very interesting aspects of our culture, of our societies. They're invented by a man called Ebenezer Howard at the end of the 19th century, in 1898 to be exact. And the idea was to improve the quality of urban life, which had been marred by overcrowding, congestion, due to the uncontrolled growth following the Industrial Revolution. And of course the idea was these garden cities would be lovely places of culture, and they were built with concentric circles. At the centre would be very nice housing, and then they would have gardens and cultural centres. There'd be a theatre and a hospital. And as you move towards the outside the circles, that's where you put the industry, so well away from urban habitation. Anyway, Letchworth was the very first and was a major success. Shortly afterwards, they built others, such as Welling Garden City. The interesting thing about Welling was they did a social experiment by trying to move middle-class people, such as architects, lawyers, and accountants, next door to working-class people. The experiment failed to work, largely because the middle-class people couldn't get on very well with their working-class counterparts, and they moved away. Nevertheless, it was a great concept which preceded the new towns, such as Harlow. Different concept altogether, whereby people were put into high-rise blocks of flats. Interesting now that Prince Charles, or now the King Charles, is trying to develop urban areas once again to be a place of great beauty and wonderful architecture. Anyway, enough of the history and the culture, and we move on to today and today's teams. But first of all, I'd like to introduce you to my new co-commentator, Gabriella Diana, and she will tell you all about the Letchworth team today.
Hi Ralph. It's not really much for me to say, I don't know them very well, but we have had a last minute change of Daniel Peasnall, who's unfortunately no longer playing, and he's been replaced by Adam Amos, with Basra coming in as a reserve. So we've got at loosehead for Letchworth, Oscar Robinson; at hooker, Jack Arscombe; at tight head prop, Kyle Hughes; second rows, Tommy Wilcock and Adam Amos; Luke Mongston at blindside flanker, Liam Fitz at openside flanker and is captain for today. Number 8 is Tom Lewis, scrum half is Harvey Howman, fly half is vice captain Josh Sharp, left wing Tentder Brewer, right wing, inside centre Kieran Davies, outside centre Will Tiverington, right wing Josh Staden, fullback Ben Palmer, with the reserves Richard Stokes, Bazara and Chris Gibbs.
Thank you, Gabriella. That was a marvellous job you did last week with Thurrock ladies, and I look forward to doing the co-commentary with you again. So Thurrock take the field today, and there have been some changes, and fullback number 15, we welcome Rhys Cotter into the team for his very first game. Rhys is the son of Luke Cotter, a former student at William Edwards School, and a great player in his own right, a great player for Thurrock in his day. On the right wing, we have Harry Reynolds, who's moved from fullback last week. On the left wing, Kai Holloway. The centre partnership is one which has been resumed after a season's break, and that is Niall Clifford, who is about to kick off, and Henry Bird. That brings Alex Jones, who's the debutant of the London Marathon, in 10, and at 9, scrum half, Ed Stevens, after a good display last week, retains his place. Tight head this week goes to Tom Wildman. We have Aaron Antrobus at loosehead, and Lawrence Brown at hooker. Dritan Loker, after his temporary ban, is restored to the second row with the return of the mighty Jay Jennings. Good to see him back after a short-term injury. He will add ballast to the pack. In the back row, Ben Timpson resumes for his second game as captain, And we have Cody Holloway at open side that makes Caelan Watts going from the second row to the back row. On the bench, we have Malachi Watts-Adams, it's Caelan's brother, come on the bench first time for his debut, alongside Harry Krellin. And so the first penalty goes to Letchworth. And that's Josh Sharp, the fly half, who's found touch. A good first line out for them, but it wasn't straight. Adam Amos, the substitute, who's come on in place of Daniel Peasnell, gets straight into the game with a line-out win, but it wasn't straight. And so it gives Thurrock the opportunity of a scrum or a line-out.
You have to sit down for us, please, if you're up here. Thank you.
And so, Gabriella, is it good to see Jay Jennings back this week?
Yeah, definitely good to see him back after that injury. It was quite a bad one, but well, he recovers quite quickly. He can't stay off the pitch long enough. Annoyingly, should be taking some recovery time, but it's good to see him back.
It's definitely a massive presence. Still a young man. What's he, 19, 20?
Turned 20 on the 2nd of September, actually. He's in Amsterdam enjoying himself.
Instead of playing. But he's been a massive presence in this squad since he came into the squad as a young man straight from the Colts. Just last season, a really good athlete and a good line-out man. So another wonderful day in Thurrock this afternoon. It does have more hours of sunshine than any other place in Britain. It is the new Bermuda. And that gives me the introduction to welcome Mercedes and the Cayman Islands. And Jenny, I'm sure they're having a cocktail and a sunbed as ever. Paul Stevens in Singapore. John Langley in Tewkesbury, Gloucestershire. First scrummage wheels around. And that's been forced by Letchworth, according to the referee. And hence we have a penalty to Thurrock. Alex Jones is called forward, playing his first game of the season at 10. He's played several of his, he's played over 100 games at fly half. He's normally a scrum half. Good to see Ahmed Aminu on the touchline, got injured last week. So Lawrence Brown to throw in. Goes to the back, Jay Jennings goes up for it. There's a bit of a juggle for the ball. It has been knocked forward.
Can't see her about. She's dropped yet.
It's a good afternoon to Sally Sally Russo and Charlie Russo, and they're still awaiting the birth of their child.
We know what the name is, Ralph. I think they're going to call it Jason.
Good afternoon to Brian Davis, Bob Williams, the Henderson family in South Wales. And good luck to Abbotsleary this afternoon. We're playing Abertwysog in the top of the table clash. Seems to shot out on the Letchworth side. Thurrock off their usual good start with territory, and now they have a penalty in front of the posts. Last week, Harry Reynolds was the kicker elect, and he started off with the tee. The responsibility was later given to Henry Bird, who managed to kick 2 touchline conversions. So as we know from the great Barry John, place kicking is all about confidence, about visualizing, preparing and execution. So Gabrielle, is he going to kick this one?
Harry's a fantastic kicker. He's been kicking since he was, well, still with Colts, I believe, possibly younger. He practices intensely. He's fantastic, so wouldn't be surprised if he does get it.
So percentage, 98%?
Oh, I'd give him a solid 98%, maybe a bit more. He's like I said, but respect the kicker.
Well, the home crowd think you're right. And you're 100% right. It's Thurrock 3, Letchworth Garden City 0.
Are they getting ready to lift Jay?
So a good kick-off from Josh Sharp. Thurrock managed to gain possession. Dritan Loka, the Albanian. This time Eddie Stevens kicks the box kick, but it has gone straight out. Quick early line-out from Letchworth. Sends ball in the middle of the field. Henry Bird has put the man to ground. That has gone forward. The referee has seen that. So good initial defence. First up defence from Thurrock. Henry Bird making the tackle and forcing the loose ball. Tom Wildman, the front row this week, replacing Jack Cowman. Given an opportunity for the giant Malachi Watts-Adams to come onto the bench. Ewan Thomas, the other replacement for Thurrock, made a good impression coming straight from the coats as well. Really good system at Thurrock whereby the youngsters come through.
Yeah, we've got Ewan on the bench as well. He, again, another fantastic player coming up from the Colts. I believe this is his third game for the men's team. Hopefully we'll get to see him on a bit later.
I'm sure he will. A very good line-out forward as well. Good to see the loyalty nowadays of players coming through, all the way through the system as young men, straight into the first team. Of course, this will only be enhanced once we have the new school and the sixth form playing their rugby out here. Ben Timms has picked up from number 8, throws a dummy, feeds Ed Stevens. Ed Stevens struggling to get to ground there, but does manage in the end. The referee tells Letchworth to release. Alex Jones moves into scrum half, position he's more used to. Loka charges into the fray. Alex Jones resumes the scrum half. Jay Jennings taken out sideways, but good ball again from Thurrock. This time Ed Stevens kicks the middle of the field. That's well taken at full back by Ben Palmer. Feeds out wide. It's a sidestepping run by the right winger Josh Stadden. Comes in midfield where he's well tackled. Letchworth number 8, Thomas Lewis, looks a bit of a passenger, stuck out on the wing. Ben Timpson, his opposite number, is making headway up the middle. So Lewis should be there. Loka again in the action. Good to see him back this week. Ed Stevens is held, and he tries to get the ball away. Thurrock get the penalty as Cody Holloway picks up and tries to effect a quick getaway. It's been a good transition by Thurrock. Sometimes they're a bit slow in transitioning from defence into attack, but this time they made good ground. Alex Jones has prodded that ball into the corner. I like the look of Rhys Cotter at full back, a long leggy player. He's got a good boot on him. It's a great lineup by Thurrock this time. There's an attempt to be sacked, but it's allowed Ben Timms to drive hard through the middle of the pitch. Ed Stevens, one quick ball, he's gone for the dummy. He's dived over and scored, exactly as did last week.
Fantastic, absolutely brilliant play on the line.
So a quick line out, good half break by Ben Timpson. Ed Stevens once again throwing a dummy, almost a replica of last week's try. One hopes this isn't a false dawn, as Thurrock have started well all games this season. Harry Reynolds adds the conversion. So it's Thurrock 10, Letchworth Garden City 0. So Thurrock, having taken the lead, usually are vulnerable teams when they've taken the lead, but this time they transition into attack very quickly. They've exited well, and they've managed to get the extra points on the board. So it's fly off Josh Sharp to kick off reluctantly once again. There's a towering ball as it flies through the Thurrock air. It's knocked back. Watts Adams attempts to push the hooker into touch, but his shirt comes off in the process, and he manages to slip the tackle. Cody Holloway. Jennings comes through the middle. It's a very aggressive drive by Thurrock. We had a couple of the players though there come to grips, and the referees call the captains together. Looks like a little bit of afters, and it's a scrum to Letchworth. Now, Gabriella, what do you know about scrummaging?
Unfortunately, not a lot since I am a back, but I've had a game as a flanker myself. It's quite enjoyable. But the Thurrock scrums have always been strong. To be honest, the men's team forwards are fantastic. With the line-outs, they've always been quite strong. Scrums, although we seem to be pushing a little bit more on our left side than theirs, but still a strong scrum.
I think that was a knock-on by Thurrock as they attempt the tackle. It might even been deliberate. Thurrock came, the flanker, blindside flank came around the side and attempted to tackle, but then got his hand in the way. Ball has gone backwards though. It's still an advantage to Letchworth. Come to the middle of the field. It's again good strong tackling by Henry Bird. Penalised in the middle of the park. Gives Sharp the chance to put Letchworth into an attacking position in the Thurrock 22. First bit of real pressure for the away side. Good to see some of their spectators in their striped blazers here today. And of course they were here for the big Ada ceremony earlier. Healthy looking crowd, as one would expect on a bright day like today. Glorious autumn day. This time it's a driving maul by Letchworth, which is pulled to ground by Thurrock, so they get away with the penalties. A free ball for Letchworth. They have the extras out wide. Great tackle by Rhys Cotter as they came in field. And so the referee has gone back to a penalty. It's now a second penalty. Not sure why. Great introduction by Rhys Cotter there. He came into the line to put in the tackle when it looked like Letchworth had the extra player. Do you think they will kick for goal?
I think at this point with the score, I think they may as well kick for goal, get the points in while they can. It's unfortunate that Thurrock seem to have really come back with a vengeance from the game last weekend, but the penalties are really starting to rack up, which is annoying, but they're pulling it back quite well.
So Letchworth have gone to the corner. Yeah, we didn't get Gabrielle to put a percentage on that one, if they're going to kick or not. They've won a clean lineup with Thomas Wilcock there. And they've got the rolling maul going again. Thurrock have to be careful not to give away the yellow card at this stage. And the try has been given. And the plaudits are going to the second row. So it might just be the newcomer, Adam Amos. Yes, that's Adam Amos, who's replaced Daniel Pease in the last moment. Not only has he come onto the field, he's scored the opening try for Letchworth. This is Joshua Sharp with the conversion, which he has collected. So it's Thurrock 10, Letchworth 7. So what do you expect from this kickoff?
Hopefully, it looks like Letchworth is a little bit low on numbers around this front left side, so I'm hoping that he's going to see that, but I think he's going to go back left where there seems to be an abundance of people.
So it's now Clifford with the kickoff. It's gone long, and Gabriel is quite right. It's gone straight to the number 8. There's Thomas Lewis. Some terrific work there by Cody Holloway, and now Clifford winning that turnover. There's been a little bit of dissent from Letchworth, so the referee has marched them back 10 metres. That's given Harry Reynolds a chance to extend Thurrock's lead. So it's good to see Jay Jennings back in harness with Dritan Loka this week. Powerful presence in the engine room. Harry Reynolds with a slightly more difficult kick to the right of the post today. So we'll get Gabrielle to put a percentage on this one.
This one being a right-footed kicker on the right side, I'd lower it to probably 85, I'd say. It's a difficult kick.
Well, slightly more difficult. Nevertheless, Harry Reynolds, 85%. I think that should have been 100%.
I'd rather be proved wrong.
Thurrock 13, Letchworth Garden City 7. A lot of kicking off in this game, so it's Sharp, Joshua Sharp. This time Aaron Antrobus collects. He likes a rumble, this man. He's managed to hand it on. Ben Timpson. Eddie Stevens with a high box kick. It's given Thurrock a chance, but it's tapped back on the Letchworth side. Caleb Watts-Adams went for that one, didn't quite get there. This time it's Josh Taylor who's charged on by Lawrence Brown. Lawrence goes searching for the ball. Letchworth have come up with it. Great tackle by Cody Holloway. A lovely pass on then to Wilcock. Thurrock get back in the action. Dritan Loka coming from what looked like an offside position, but a great tackle by him. Almost another charge down. Reece Cotter has no chance with that one. It's gone dribbling to touch just outside the Thurrock 22. So Letchworth have the talented Tadenda Gururu on the left wing. Hasn't touched the ball yet, and probably Thurrock faithful are hoping he never touches the ball. And I'm hoping so as well, because his name is so difficult to pronounce. Tadenda Gururu. We'll have to practice that one. Looking like an Olympic athlete. Big line out by Thurrock though in the middle of the field. Ball comes through to Henry Bird. Almost barges off the defender as Kieran Davis had to come in to tackle him. Aaron Antrobus on the charge. Ed Stevens feeds Niall Clifford. Rhys Cotter coming to the blind side looking for action. Feeds the ball back really well. Cody Holloway feeds off to Antrobus, but Thurrock have knocked on. Some good close quarter stuff and went through several pairs of hands. And then the error was made. Another encounter, Will Chitherington in the middle of the field seems to have picked up an injury, a knock. Chitherington, interesting naming, meaning folk, Tun meaning village. So it's Tithers folk living in a village. A very interesting fact I might have added that stage. I'm sure somebody found interesting. Some historian somewhere in Middle England. We are in Middle England, of course. Abertillery, my home team, take on Abertwysog today in a top-of-the-table clash in Wales Division 3 East. Wish them the very luck. Both teams are unbeaten this season, both teams at the top of the league. And good afternoon to my Abertillery friends, of whom I have two. So I think it's Tadenda Gururu looking for action in the middle of the field. He's come off his wing now. He's had enough of not touching the ball in the first 20 minutes. So what's your best position, Gabriella?
My best position? What, my preference? Well, my preference would have to be with Tadenda. I prefer a wing position personally, although I'm quite partial to a scrum half too, although there's a lot of endurance with that one.
Great choice. Some of the great players, of course, scrum halves and wingers. Austin Healy for England, Shane Williams for Wales. Great players can play in every position, so keep your options open and enjoy. We have this scrum. Gabriella will tell you about tomorrow's exciting game.
So tomorrow, Thurrock women, the T-Birds, will be at home to Bath. It will definitely be an interesting match. It's our third league game of the season. Hopefully we'll get as many supporters down at Thurrock as possible, but we will be live streaming that as well with a 3 p.m. kickoff.
Thank you, Gabriella. A little bit of a sortie there. Thurrock had the opportunity to pick up the ball, couldn't quite gather it. That's given Letchworth possession in the middle of the field. Good break on the outside, the right-hand side of the field. On the Orsett side, this Orsett Heath Academy is the new school on the premises. That's the Orsett side of the pitch you can see. So good carry in the middle of the field. Liam Fitz there with Luke Monkston in concert. Decide once again to go to the right. This time the ball is bounced into the hands of Harry Reynolds on the left wing. I got that wrong at the beginning. Kai Holloway's on the right wing, Harry Reynolds on the left. Harry scored a try last week and showed his pace in one tremendous break on the outside. Let's go back to Niall Clifford, who's thumped the ball a long way down the field with his left foot. It's a powerful kick. This is Tadenda Gururu's first chance to run with the ball. Good attempt by Alex Jones to scythe him down. He certainly slowed him down. It's often the best way to deal with such athletes. This time it's a tremendous kick, which has gone to Thurrock's 22.
Well, I think Thurrock really need to watch out for that number 14. That was a fantastic run through the middle. Unluckily for him, was faulted by Thurrock, but Thurrock are doing very well defensively today.
This is coming out his way, but they've decided to go back inside with a couple of inside passes. Caelan Watts-Adams with a heavy tackle. Thurrock doing their best to turn over the ball, but Letchworth have got the ball back. Interesting counter this. Letchworth at the top of the table, Thurrock at the bottom end, but so far a very even contest. A couple of quick offloads by Letchworth. They still have possession. They've now come wide, but they've stepped inside. A beautiful dummy there. And it's a great try by Joshua Sharp. A couple of dummies and side steps. Dancing feet there. So a lovely sidestepping run with a dummy thrown in has taken Letchworth within a point of Thurrock, and they have the conversion to follow. So it's Josh Sharp with the conversion. And that puts Letchworth ahead by 14 points to 13. So it's Joshua Sharp with the try and the conversion. So much against the run of play, very much like last week, Thurrock find themselves behind. So now Clifford, the vice-captain, with the kickoff. This time it's flat and low, and it's gone straight to Adam Amos, the new man in the second row. Despite the fact it was a flat, heavy ball, he manages to gather that. A bit of a mistake in midfield gives Kai Holloway a chance. He's run through and handed off the first opponent. Ed Stevens goes to the left, this time feeds Caelan Watts-Adams. A short ball to Thurrock. Thurrock gone blind once again. Jay Jennings couldn't quite gather that. Sorry, Aaron Antrobus couldn't quite gather it, but Thurrock have retained possession. But Letchworth have come up with the ball. Reese Cotter. Nice sidestep from Reese Cotter. Tom Wildman lost possession. Unfortunately, tries to regain possession and gives away the penalty, having played the ball with his feet. Of course, is not allowed nowadays. Would have been allowed about 100 years ago. And then there's a little bit of descent, and they march back 10 meters. Once again, there's no real excuse for that. Referees are very uncompromising with that sort of thing nowadays. They have the law on their side. Absolutely no point whatsoever in arguing with the referee, or even saying a single word of dissent. Do you find that in women's rugby?
In women's rugby, we tend to try and keep it between ourselves, but there'll be the occasional F-bomb dropped by a couple of the women, but they try and channel it into the actual gameplay and try and avoid fights.
That's F for freedom, of course. From the shackles of the referee. Good to see Carl Napiarella with us today. Come all the way up from Wales for the game. Thurrock managed to win that one though. It's given Thurrock a chance. They come to the outside. Now Clifford tries to feed Reese Cotter on the outside. Deliberate knock on by Tatende Gururu. And with Thurrock in a strong attacking position, that could well be a yellow card for Letchworth's danger man. And In spite of his protestations, Tatenda Gururu gets the yellow card, much to the disappointment of the female fans. So it's given Clifford a chance with his left foot. Find intervention with Rhys Cotter coming to the line, Kai Holloway outside. He's not been for that intervention. Thurrock may well have been away, but a long way out. Do you think the yellow card was justified?
It did surprise me, to be quite honest, but if that's a ref's view, unfortunately that's the ref's view. You can't argue with him, otherwise you'll get 1-2.
Good, it wasn't in the red zone, and usually you get a yellow card if you make a deliberate knock on the red zone, or alternatively when it looks fairly inevitable the opposition will score. But that was a clear yellow card as far as the referee was concerned. So Lawrence Brown to throw in. This has gone to Caelan Watts-Adams at the front, but it's been snaffled away. Rhys Cotter's picked up the ball. There's a chance to look up, a little run through the middle of the park. A good run by him. It's been a really impressive start, this young man. Thurrock have the ball, they have a free ball, just as well to play that. Wildman goes into contact. Thurrock carry on playing, even though they got a penalty come. Nice dummy from Ed Stevens again. As Androbus tries to get the ball away, it's gone forward. Surprising by Thurrock, they did take the opportunity with that free ball to run. So often people kick the ball away, which I can never understand. But now with Letchworth down to 14 men, Thurrock have the opportunity to launch an attack after this penalty. Where should they attack from? Should they use the backs or should they go through the forwards?
I do think the forwards have been quite dominating this half of the game, but I think the backs should be given a good run. They are quite thin on the wings sometimes, and especially with the loss of their number 14, down to 14 players, leaves a good opening on the sides.
Great observation, yes, with, well, two ways looking on there. With Tadende Gururu in the bin, that means they've had to put a flanker on the wing, so it means you could attack through the forwards because they're down to 7, but on the other hand, you could expose the lack of pace on the outside. Now the sprinter has been taken out of the action. Good to see on the far side the pitch there, the new spectator gallery behind the posts. Some of the ground staff there, I think Graham Morris, Roger White, getting a bird's eye view. But back to the action, which will resume with Clifford kicking the ball with his left foot into the Letchworth 22. So behind the post, the north end of the ground, is another temporary school. And of course, we'll soon have a school for 1,300 youngsters on the premises. This great partnership between Orsett Heath Academy and Southwest Essex Community Education Trust and Thurrock Rugby Club. Great run by Eddie Stevens. Wildman picks up, rumbles forward, a pick up by Antrobus, proved to be a real find this season, come back to his club. It looks as if the ball has gone forward in that last action. Eddie Stevens proven a real handful this season. Another terrific run from him. Another one who's come through the youth system a few years ago, before he went to Swansea University. 4-year course, and came back to his parent club, having played down in South Wales for Aberavon. So Letchworth have had to make another change. It looks as if they've brought on Richard Stokes. It's number 16, Richard Stokes. So Harvey Howman, the scrum half, to put the ball in. And even though the Thurrock pack have outnumbered Letchworth, the referee has deemed that they have acted illegally. And that's given Sharp the chance to clear his lines, which he duly does. So as we approach close to half-time, it's Letchworth down to 14 men, 14, Thurrock 13. It's been a closely fought first half. If anything, Thurrock have had the better of the half, but still find themselves slightly in arrears. So that's won the front by Dritan Loka, gives Lawrence Brown a chance to open his legs and drive forward. Eddie Stevens looks for the ball. Androbus feeds off beautifully to Jay Jennings. He sets up Caelan Watts-Adams. Once again, the ball has gone forward at the most inappropriate moment. We're all struggling to see where that went forward, but obviously it did. Have lost their opening games this season. It's very hard to understand why, and last week they scored 5 tries, yet still conspired to lose the game. It's not very often you do that unless you're playing against the Harlequins, which of course we're not. Part of the problem has been this season that the opposition seem to have a coalition of cheaters, flying wingers, who expose the defence. It's a good drive from Letchworth, and they've won the penalty. That allows them to go for another scrum and possibly to run down the clock for the sin binning of Gururu. I always feel it's incumbent upon all 8 players to drive in the scrum to stop that sort of thing happening. But I guess some players have always found there's an opportunity to have a rest. It's very often difficult to pinpoint who is responsible. Welcome to Mick Leckenby, who is in Cyprus on his sunbed, sipping a gin and tonic. That one's gone right over the top, and unfortunately Ed Stevens has knocked that on the attempt to grasp it. Good afternoon to Marco Diana, who's the cameraman today, of course, as ever, sporting a new haircut. Oh no, it's the same one as last week. And Gabrielle, of course, is his daughter. And Mum is here as well today. And another outstanding student at William Edwards School, of course, in the past. Why would you go anywhere else? In fact, the whole family have been there. So in their rare incursions in the Thurrock half, Letchworth have managed to capitalise. A fine sidestepping, dummying run, bringing 1 try, and then, quite out the blue, the lead. So Ben Palmer has moved over onto the left wing, so they allowed Letchworth to keep 8 players in the scrum. Good tactic. This time they've gone out to the right, and Josh Stadden has knocked the ball to touch, giving Thurrock a line out as we go into the dying embers of the first half. A little bit of wind today coming from the northwest. Unusually for Thurrock, we usually have the wind coming from the river, the southwest, down the corridor between the clubhouse and the trees. It's a good line-up from Thurrock and a good drive, and the opposition just stood off, and they're allowing Thurrock to drive forward. And everybody is dumbfounded by that decision by the referee. Not quite sure. It looks reminiscent of the Italian tactics a few years ago against England when nobody knew what to do. And the turn just stayed away from the line-out drive. So the referee is having some words with the Letchworth players. We're unsure what happened there. Thurrock seemed to have a drive going. Letchworth stayed off the drive, and Thurrock were advancing forward, but the ref went back to the line-out. This time it's Loker at the front. He turns, and Thurrock get the drive on again. Quite frequently this year, they've had a dominant pack, and once again, they're good going forward. This time his ball has come out to Ed Stevens. Henry Bird manages to get the feed off to Niall Clifford. This time ball's come out. And Rhys Cotter's got a chance here, and he throws the dummy. He's then looking inside. He's found Kai Holloway. It's a lovely run by the young man, but unfortunately he can't quite connect with the attackers. He's given Letchworth a chance on the outside. A great incursion on the line by Rhys Cotter gave Kai Holloway the chance. And they couldn't quite find the man on the inside, so Letchworth have possession. Some strong tackling by Thurrock has halted that particular move. Reynolds has come into the middle of the field. This time it's a good half break. Harry Reynolds, though, in the middle of the field has managed to make the tackle, showing good physicality. Letchworth moved the ball to the outside, then back inside. Good pressure play for them. So after swinging the ball across the park, Letchworth still have possession. It's been knocked back, gives Thurrock a chance on the fly hack. Watts Adams has kicked that one through. Ball is bouncing awkwardly. Tremendous pickup. Ben Palmer going back there, manages to retain possession just about. Thurrock fight for the ball. It's gone back to Sharp, who finds a good touch. And that will take us up to half-time. And so we've had a keenly fought first half, with Thurrock dominating large passages of play, managing to get on the scoreboard early on, and then finishing a superb try from a dummy by Ed Stevens. Letchworth have come into the game sporadically. They have managed to score a couple of tries themselves, and they go into half-time with a 14-13 lead. They're still down to 14 men as a result of the sin bin. So, Gabrielle, what do you think of that first half?
Honestly, for the Thurrock side, I believe they've been quite consistent with their defence. It's just unfortunate for them that Letchworth have been able to find the gaps and the small mistakes that we've made, and the penalties are starting to rack up a bit. But they've been fantastic. That line break here, like I said earlier, if you use the wings, it'll get you some points. Unfortunate about the pass, but what can you do? Can't have it all the time.
It really was unfortunate when the one clear break they had, Rhys Cotter came to the line and the ball was knocked down from Niall Clifford, and they gave away the penalty and the yellow card. There could have been a scoring opportunity for Kai Holloway on the inside. A lovely break coming into the line by Rhys Cotter, showing lots of flair today, the young man, and so far it's been a first half which has been full of enterprise, full of entertainment for the large crowd, and the scoreline stands at 14-13, and we'll pick you up again in the second half.
Would sneezed.
And as Letchworth take the field of the second half, we're still waiting for Thurrock, and we're showing a shot of the artificial grass pitch, which is part of the new complex, the hub of sport at Thurrock, where Thurrock Rugby Club are in partnership with the South West Essex Community Education Trust. One of the top 6 artificial grounds in the country. It's a privilege to be in this location. Wonderful facilities here at Thurrock. And Thurrock take the field for the second half. Well, Gabriella, what do you expect in this half?
I'm hoping Thurrock's going to come back from this and take home the win today. That'd be amazing. I believe they were playing with the sun in their eyes on the first half, so I'm hoping this will be an advantage going back again.
Thank you. Letchworth Garden City, the brainchild of Ebenezer Howard, and of course the complex of sport, the hub of sport, the brainchild of Mr. Steve Munday, the Chief Executive of South West Essex Community Education Trust. I must say there are marvellous facilities here at Thurrock nowadays, with spectator lounges and boxes. And that's bounced really awkwardly. It looks as if it's going directly into touch, but it's shot back on the Letchworth side, eluding Caelan Watts-Adams and giving Letchworth a chance to open up. A lovely tackle by Cody Holloway, manages to put that attacker to ground, and Letchworth put the ball out wide. So Thurrock managed to knock that backwards. There's still Letchworth have won the ball. It's a knock on by Thurrock. So a great opportunity for Letchworth. So unfortunately, it looks as if it's knocked on by Thurrock, and subsequently the floodgates opened. Allowed centre Will Titherington to go through the gap and explode over the posts.
And that'll be the conversion taken and scored. That'll be putting the score up, exceeding their winning streak, unfortunately.
The worst possible start the second half at Thurrock. They seem to have been unfortunate not gain possession on a couple of occasions there, and eventually the ball shot out on the Letchworth side and gave Titherington a chance to go under the posts. It's a bouncing ball in the middle of the field. It's given Letchworth a lot of confidence. They're trying to run from their own half. An excellent tackle by Eddie Stevens. Reese Cotter in the tackle as well. Lawrence Brown putting his usual hard shift. And Sharp has seen the opportunity there with Cotter stuck at the bottom of the maul. Was able to get back into position. As we well know, rugby is a game of momentum and confidence. And Thurrock have been a little bit lacking in confidence once they've gone to the lead. And the momentum has swung back to Letchworth at the beginning of the second half. Thurrock get up early with Loka, but that's a simple ball at the front. And it's gone to Thomas Wilcock. Letchworth get the rolling maul going. So after a quick transition, Letchworth have gone to Thurrock half. They've executed very well, and now they've gone into quite a strong lead. So it's Letchworth 26, Thurrock 13. So Sharp with a conversion attempt, high and a handsome. Do you think Thurrock have to do now to get back into the contest?
Wake up, it seems. They seem to have done a reverse of their usual. Usually start off and then wake up on the half-time whistle, but seem to have done the opposite. But they're still pushing, still with the same sort of, well, drive that they had with the beginning of the game, and still putting in fantastic tackles.
And really what Letchworth have done is some quick handoffs, some very quick offloads. And yes, as we suspected, Gururu showing clean pair of heels there. Thurrock are coming up against some outstanding wingers in this league. So it's Tajende Gururu opening up a Thurrock defence.
Letchworth still lining up for the kick, taking their time, probably to run down the clock.
Once again, the damage is caused by a fine offload in the middle of the park using their forwards. Then the backs lining up in concert, stretching play across the field. And this time Sharp has missed, and that is 33 points to 13. So can Thurrock get back into this game?
We're hoping they can. They've still got plenty of time, still an entire half left. I mean, personally, I thought that went 10, but...
So the referee for a moment hesitated, not sure whether that went 10 metres, but finally judging that it had not quite gone the full distance. And he brings Letchworth back for a scrum in the middle of the park. And groundsman Roger White and Graham Morris won't be too happy with the referee making that mark in the middle of their field. So Harvey Howman to put the ball into the middle of the scrum. This time it's a better shove from Thurrock, better scrum. Sharp goes for the outside break, but stopped by Alex Jones and Ben Timpson. Sharp exposing the wide outside, prodding the ball into Thurrock 22. It's an easy game, this when you're on the front foot.
All you can eat, Charlie.
And all Letchworth are doing is going through the basics and putting Thurrock under pressure. So Lawrence Brown with a difficult lineup, but well taken by Watts Adams. It's an excellent line out. Allows Thurrock to get the forward drive going once again. Ben Timpson breaks clear. He's halted by what looks like a high tackle. Ed Stevens with a box kick. And unfortunately, that's gone straight into touch. In the last 10 minutes, absolutely everything which could possibly go wrong for Thurrock has gone wrong for Thurrock. Change of karma. Don't we all? So Jack Ascombe, the Letchworth hook, and throw the ball in. Adam Amos goes up on a post. Ball goes in the middle of the field, hands are taken away. Goes centre. This time Letchworth haven't knocked the ball on. At this stage, Jeff Selway would have been shouting, "Sack the juggler." A great hero of the women's game, of course. We extend our welcome to the Selway family this afternoon, especially to James. Eddie Stevens feeds. The scum has skewed sideways. Of course, you have to drive from a square position. If you're going to drive the scrum, it has to go straight back. You can't wheel. In the old days, it would have been a quick channel one, feed the ball in, get it out quickly to the fly half, who kicks the ball 50 metres down the field. In this precarious position, they probably feel they have to run the ball. Ben Timpson has picked up and he's fed Eddie Stevens on the blind side. Stevens kicks ahead, but unfortunately the blindside wingers come in position to collect that one. And this time Sharp does make the mistake and puts the ball straight into touch. Perhaps that is a turning point. He's Thurrock get a little bit of respite. Pulsating start to the second half by Letchworth Garden City. This is a city based on circles. Thurrock running in circles for about 10 minutes. Letchworth won that one, but then the ball went to touch. It should be another line to Thurrock. Who's going to get this line out?
Hopefully Thurrock, to be quite honest. Would be great to see them get out to the wing and run it up again. They've had their 14 come back on again, so not got as much of a gap anymore. Oh, wow.
It's a great line by Alex Jones. He's fed Niall Clifford. Kai always come in the middle of the field. Once again, that's been knocked down. He throws the dummy. Thurrock desperately to score, try to get back into the game. A great run by Niall Clifford. Henry Bird now looks for an opening in the middle of the field. He's gone straight, he's driven through. They're close to the line. Now the ball goes out wide. It's well taken by Lawrence Brown. Beautiful pick-up. It was a difficult ball to take for the hooker. Outstanding play this year. And Thurrock have driven close to the line. That's a great try. I think that might be Tom Wildman.
That is how you play a bit of rugby.
It was either Tom Wildman or Dritan Loka. We'll verify that afterwards, but it's brought Thurrock back into the game.
Oh, that was fantastic. I mean, I said use the wings, he ran straight through instead. That was absolutely a fantastic line break there.
Good piece of work by the forwards.
Harry Reynolds lining up for the conversion. Brilliant kick straight through the middle.
Outstanding comeback for Thurrock there. A great pick-up by Lawrence Brown in the middle of the field from a difficult pass. An excellent ball from fly-off Alex Jones, put Niall Clifford through in the first place. And clinical finishing by the Thurrock pack. It shows what they can do. So a little bit of order restored to Oakfield.
Tries in it.
So Joshua Sharp, having had an outstanding game, has made 2 mistakes in the last couple of minutes. This one going directly into touch and gives Thurrock the scrum back. That last try would have given Thurrock a lot of heart, especially in the forward pack.
They're doing all right now. They don't need me.
Two number 8s collide. Simpson and Tom Lewis. Let's go on to Garuru, and he's going to show his pace once again. This time he's hauled down by Harry Reynolds. Gives Watts Adams a chance to have a little run. Zap a little. Next Jones moving to scrum half. Feeds Wildman. Wildman pushes the ball back. Timpson. Nice short ball there to Lawrence Brown. Cody Holloway, who has played scrum half, feeds his brother Kai Holloway. Holloway will have a chance to find some open space, some clear water to run into, as he did last week. Ben Timpson throws the dummy in the middle of the field, as it is wont. Dritan Loka, he feeds the ball out to Niall Clifford. Niall Clifford has Harry Crellin, who's coming out the field. Powerful player, Harry Crellin. Henry Bird picks up. Letchworth shout, let him have the ball. They then get a winger over the ball. Good foraging work by Jack Ashcombe. And Letchworth come away with the ball. This time it's a chip ahead for Garuru. That has gone to touch, with Thurrock scurrying across the park to get into position. So Thurrock have made a positional switch now and moved Alex Jones into scrum half. Cotter has gone to 10, Harry Reynolds to full back. So long ball to Reece Cotter. He throws the ball to Henry Bird in the middle of the field. It's a good tackle on Henry Bird. Gives Noah Clifford a chance. Noah Clifford looking for a gap. Feeds Kyle Holloway on the outside. Alex Jones comes in. It's a good pick-up from him. Harry Reynolds goes into contact. It's like a shoulder there, the touch. Jack Askham to throw the ball in with the head guard, the blue head guard. That's a back ball gone to Thomas Lewis. Good ball in the middle of the field. Fullbacks come to the line trying to feed Garuru again. No space for him, but there's a gap opened up on the blind side. Holloway with the tackle, saving tackle. Little loop around. Good ball, a beautiful looking ball there, and Sharp has managed to pull Titherington through the gap. An excellent run around. Has managed to put Titherington to space and restore the difference. Letchworth have proved already this season they're a formidable force. They've come out the second half and managed to make the extra man, especially with the loop around. There's a lovely piece of play in midfield which allowed Titherington to go through the gap. To give a relatively easy conversion to Josh Sharp, which we think is probably 100%.
Yeah, I think I'd go for 100%, dead in the middle of the post. But Thurrock are doing well on their defence still. They're keeping their heads up, and I mean, 3 tries in it.
Come on, Thurrock! Here for you! Come on!
That's 42 points to 20, and Thurrock have it all to do.
Go on, Thurrock! Come on, Thurrock!
Loud support coming from the home spectators. See what's happened to Eddie Stevens. Seems to have gone from the pitch. Alex Jones resuming at 9 where he's used to playing. And Harry Crellin, a product of Orsett, is there on the left wing. This time the ball bounced in the middle of the field. Thurrock have gained possession. It's a good drive forward, a rolling drive. Thurrock have come blind. For some reason, the referee has given a penalty to Thurrock when it appeared they had the advantage. Said man again, Garuru. Androbus has taken a quick tap. The Thurrock have won quick possession. It's come out the middle of the field. Ben Timpson, the captain, leading by example. Alex Jones looking for a quick ball. This time it comes to Reece Cotter. Now Clifford trying to get his hands free as he takes out 3 players. Cotter takes a difficult pass. They've managed to hold him up. He's gone to ground eventually. And Letchworth have the ball.
That's what they've been doing,
And now is a high tackle, much to the discontent of the home supporters. We're claiming Thurrock with a victim. The high tackle earlier. We apologise for some language from the crowd. They're very much a partisan crowd. We have to say that is an outstanding kick from Sharp.
Good catch. Joe wasn't on the pitch.
Should of course have been a spiral with the left foot, but a very good right footed kick at that angle. And producing an attacking line out for Letchworth. This time Jay Jennings wins the ball in the middle of the line out. Great line out from Thurrock. Ball's come out to Rhys Cotter. This time he thumps the ball wide, gone over the head. He has got a remarkable boot, this young man, has gone over the head of Gururu and gives Thurrock an attacking platform. Good encouragement from Vice-Captain Niall Clifford.
Yeah.
What do you think of the young man in the centre?
Young man centre. Oh, I'm terrible at
Rhys Cotter.
Oh, right. Yeah, he's honestly, every single one of the back positions are doing brilliant to support the forwards. Obviously, the forwards are the big hard hitters, but the backs are definitely the ones that drive it home. But the gameplay has been fantastic. The positions have been perfect, and we've got a Ewan that has come on, I believe, for Thurrock.
It's gone over the top, and Wildman's managed to gather that ball in. Thurrock have possession. Loker on the charge. He throws a familiar dummy. Has come to Ben Timpson. He sends Clifford out wide. He gives Krellin a chance. Krellin chips ahead. Letchworth have got the ball, almost a high tackle. The fullback dives under the tackle. Good communication from Harry Reynolds to Harry Krellin, putting him back in position. They're asked to communicate this week, and they've certainly done that. And Letchworth thumped the ball upfield. Krellin's in position. He fields Harry Reynolds. He then looks out to Kai Holloway, who'll sidestep inside. Good sidestepping run from Holloway again. Looking for an opportunity. He chips ahead. Letchworth attempt to make the mark, but in the process, the mark has been given. So it's Chitherington who's coming to take the kick this time. Is he a left footer? No, it's middle of the park. It is a mark. So he kicks the ball out. A little bit of generosity there by the assistant referee. What do we call him? Touch judge at this level. They are partisan. Caelan Watts-Adams wins an easy line for Thurrock there. An excellent line out. Ewan Thomas is on the field. Calling for a high tackle. Antrobus, full of energy, this young man. He's a university student. And Watts-Adams goes to the dummy. Sees a gap. Almost gets through the gap. Thurrock looking wide. Ewan Thomas had a bit of venom, a bit of zip to the attack. Unfortunately, that has gone forward. Thurrock desperately looking for the fourth try to get the bonus point. At least a bonus point. They've been in this game for large swathes of it, but unfortunately have fallen a long way behind the scoreboard. Once again, it's been far more of an even contest than the score suggests. It's just that Letchworth have been a little bit more dynamic in transition, have moved into attack very quickly and taken their opportunities, and usually scored when they've been in the red zone. Richard Stokes comes on the field to great acclaim from the Letchworth faithful. To add a little more ballast to the scrum. So with 11 or 12 minutes to go, Thurrock find themselves 22 points in arrears. But they're on the Letchworth 22. This time's a free kick to Thurrock, who are keen to get on with the ball. Alex Jones ready to tap and go. Feeds Wildman. He's knocked back, but Thurrock retained possession. This time the backs are fed. Henry Bird's given the short ball from Rhys Cotter. Makes headway, attracts attention of 4 or 5 players. Rhys Cotter comes wide, giving Niall Clifford a go on the outside. He feeds back inside to Cotter. This is good stuff from Thurrock. Fine dummy and a handoff. Caelan Watts-Adams, Lawrence Brown feeds a wide ball. Harry Reynolds on the outside has gone backwards. Kai Holloway is harassed by Garuru, but he manages to get back to his feet and win possession back. Caelan Watts-Adams throws another dummy, charges midfield. Exciting pasture play, Jay Jennings back in the fold. And Timpson is first receiver. Throws a long ball to Niall Clifford once again. Niall Clifford looks outside, feeds Harry Crellin. Harry Crellin comes infield. Clifford is there to try and retain possession, but it's picked up by Tom Lewis. Sorry, it's the open side flanker. Luke Monkston has managed to get the ball back for Letchworth. Shame for Thurrock. Good pasture play, good pressure, couldn't quite convert the points. It's a missed pass in the middle of the field, caused a lot of problems. Titherington comes away again. He's got Garuru outside him. He attracts a bit of attention, looks very much like a forward pass. Garuru scores the try. The linesman looks as if he was flagging for a forward pass, but rapidly put his flag down when he saw the referee was behind play. That's not a criticism of the referee. I would be the last person to do that. The move was so quick, they motored away from the attention of the officials, and Garuru was awarded the try, even though from this angle it looked like a distinctively forward pass. Approximately 10 minutes left. It's Letchworth 42, Thurrock 20, with a conversion to follow. And Sharp has missed the conversion. Thurrock have been undone again by this coalition of cheaters, these flying machines on the wing, as identified by Gabriella Diana. Early on, this man looked a danger man. What do you think of him now?
Oh, I think we've been proven right with that one. The speed he had was phenomenal. It's unfortunate for us, but you've got to commemorate him for that one. Honestly, it was a fantastic try, but if the forward pass wasn't seen, they got lucky with that one, I suppose.
Clifford with an unfortunate task having to kick off again. This time Sharp goes for a long clearance. It's a great kick. It's kept in field by antrobus, but it's been thrown forward in the process. Just aren't going Thurrock's way. When you make a dive like that and knock the ball in field, the last thing you expect is for the ball to bounce forward. And there you are, when your luck is down, your luck is down. It's been a curate's egg of a performance by Thurrock. There have been lots of good parts, but then a few parts which weren't quite so good. Letchworth have taken full advantage, which is the way the season has gone. This time Letchworth get a drive on the scrum. It has been turned around sideways. So with the wheeling, the referee goes back to another put in.
Beating the tag. They're like new blood. Let me swallow.
Good to see Danolf and Ahmed Aminu on the touchline today. Hopefully they will be back in action fairly soon. Sharp throwing the dummy. This time Rhys Cotter doesn't fall for this at all. Hauls him to the ground. It's that danger man again, Garuru, trying to open in the middle of the field. This time Antrobus pulls him down. Now Letchworth trying to go through the guts of the Thurrock defence. Everybody trying to get in the act now, this late stage in the game. Nice neat tackle from Rhys Cotter. Ed Stevens back on the field. Unfortunately, he's won the ball. The referee's gone back for an earlier penalty. Ahmed Aminu picked up a groin injury last week, and so is hoping to be back next week. Of course, we can't help but mention the injury to Joss Nunn, one of the most outstanding players to play for Thurrock over the last 10 years, and picked up another shoulder injury. And he already set up a great try last week before having to leave the field. We wish him well, and we wish him a speedy recovery for the school teacher. He's never had a day off school. So Eddie Stevens has been restored. Director of Rugby Martin Jones has kept Rhys Cotter at 10. This time we've worked a switch in the middle of the field with Niall Clifford. Rhys Cotter has got the ball, it's come out wide. And suddenly Harry Crellin is set free. He throws a dummy, comes in field. Luke Munstone is all over him. Ed Stevens manages to fling the ball to Ewan Thomas. He makes a really good charge forward. Excellent play by the young man. Dritan Loka goes straight into contact. Drags the ball back. Caelan Watts-Adams feeds Henry Bird. Henry Bird is looking to go up the middle. It looks like a high tackle as he's flung to the ground. Reynolds on the outside. As Reece Cotter can't quite gather the ball. Good attack from Thurrock. Good continuity. Not quite going to hand at the end.
What's it like playing for Letchworth?
Thurrock have scored a hatful of tries this season, but unfortunately they've not been able to transition defence quickly enough, and the opposition have scored more tries, which of course always leads to a victory. So while we have this brief interlude in the play, Gabriella, what do you think is going to happen tomorrow when Thurrock ladies entertain Bath ladies?
Oh, well, the last home game we had with Bath, we managed to beat them. Can't quite remember the score, so I'm hoping for a Thurrock win tomorrow. That would be absolutely fantastic. I don't think we'll be going away to them until December, but we're putting out a very strong side tomorrow, very, very strong side. So, yeah, hoping for a good game, a good bit of entertainment.
It was a great game last year, and it was almost a South Championship decider. And Thurrock managed to win that one. And we had a great commentator that day on the Bath ladies, who was on the bench and injured. And so we had lots of fun, and we hope we can replicate that tomorrow. And of course, we've had Gabriella today, who's been outstanding in a debut home performance with the men. It's been really good to have some company in this commentary box. Although I'm not saying Marco isn't good company, but you know, he has to keep quiet most of the time, apart from whistling. So Thurrock scrum going back there. The referee has told them to get on with it, but then Thurrock have knocked the ball forward. And that looks like a mandatory yellow card. Indeed it is. So as we reach the dying embers of the game, Thurrock are down to 14 men. So it's disconsolate Cody Holloway going to the side. One of those unfortunate instinctive things, you stick out your hand. Of course, Thurrock were the victim of what was decided as an intentional knock-on some 40 years ago when Dennis Stone was adjudged to have tried to intercept at Norwich, and Thurrock went out the Eastern Counties Cup as a result of it. He swears this very day all he was trying to do was catch the ball and run 100 metres, score under the post, which I'm sure he would have done with his lightning pace. He was, of course, the second fastest player ever to play for Thurrock. And there's competition to find out who's the fastest player ever to play for Thurrock. I hope Alice Cooper is watching today. I'm sure Shawadi Wadi is watching somewhere. They're probably at London Welsh. To retro baits of Thurrock. So Thurrock with a depleted pack, looks as if they have the last opportunity, but that's now given away as there's an early engagement and the free kick is given to Letchworth. The referee has been merciless and adhered straight to the letter of the law. That's a quick tap by Stokes. That is the final whistle, and Letchworth won this game by 42 points to 20. what was for a long time a keenly contested game. Thurrock once again not able to transition defence quickly enough, exposed by the pace on the outside, particularly of danger man Tatenda Gururu. Kieran Davis in the centre with Will Chitherington caused a lot of problems as well. But Thurrock fought back hard, and after a bright start were able to contest the latter stages, especially when they went down to 14 men. Gabriella, sum up for us.
Honestly, I think it's definitely a strong side on both sides. I personally don't think the score reflects how well Thurrock did today, but obviously quite tough competition. Absolutely fantastic from Reece Cotter. It was an amazing debut from him. But overall, fantastic game to watch, and hopefully the men enjoyed. I was going to say boys then. Hopefully the men enjoyed their time today as well. But hopefully next week we might get a better score for ourselves.
Gabriella, thank you, and thank you for your tremendous commentary this afternoon. We look forward to working with you again tomorrow when Thurrock Ladies entertain Bath Ladies. Kick-off is at 3 o'clock, and you can watch it exclusively on YouTube. So it's been a bright, sunny day at Thurrock Oakfield, but not a bright, sunny day for the home side. A lot of good things happened during the course of the game. They seem to get into good positions, but not quite able to finish off those good positions. Letchworth, the seasoned team, have had the better of contests in recent months and years, and have run out today as worthy winners by 42 points to 20. So it's good afternoon from Thurrock Oakfield, from Ralph Henderson and Gabriella Diana. Goodbye.
Shame about the ref in there, I know.